Thought I'd do a quick video today. I've had quite a few inquiries on status of bug fixes and also some feature requests, things that are that we're working on that are in process. So I wanted to give you some idea of how you can also see what's going on a little bit easier. If you want the link, if you go to the support page on the website and you go to Open Issues, that will take you to this. This is like the read-only version of our JIRA issue tracker, and from here you can see. Let's go to the first page. You can see all of the open, whether it's an issue or a bug or a task. They're all in here, and you can kind of see the current status. You can see comments and things like that. If you are the user who opened a ticket, it's also likely that your JIRA issue number here, like for example here 67, is linked already to your ticket. And then if anything happens on the JIRA issue, like someone makes a comment or the status changes, then it will post that also to the ticket. So we do try to always link those two together whenever possible to make sure that you always get updates on the issue, even from this development tracking platform. But you can always go here. I mean, if you want to go here, you can see kind of a more broader view. You can see the status of everything that's going on. You can also, you can choose how you want to sort this. If you want to do it by priority, or I think you can do it by type. And I usually set it to the priority just so I can see the highest priority items first. But up here, if you do, let's see, what's the other view? I don't know if I can show that from here. I think if I turn this, let me just change this. If we're in the standard view, let's click. There we go. And this is the more simple view. If this is, I think, the way it will look when you first go to the page. But if you need to be able to search, click up here on the right hand corner, and then that will enable some more filtering. The easiest one is just go into the text box here and just type anything you want, like pay, so anything to do with payments or whatever. Let's see, how about bill? Yeah. So, and then just clear it out if you want to get back to everything. So, and if you want to, request support, you might want to check here also to see if there's already an open issue, and then maybe if you want to create the ticket, we'll link your ticket to the issue so that you get updated. But if you do that, maybe reference, if you can, the issue number, like in this case, GTMA Web 68, and just say this, I'm also experiencing the same problem, or I'm interested in this feature, and then that way you'll get automatic updates coming from, it'll just post to your ticket automatically. So let's see, I wanted to just talk very briefly about like the main items right now that are in process, and the reason why I want to do that is because there are dependencies. So for example, there's a new release that's going to be coming out probably tomorrow or the next day, and that's going to be changing the way that new emails are sent to like a queue-based system instead of just a script that runs every few minutes, because there have been issues with that particular kind of scenario where if there's a lot of invoices to send and then it kicks off and another one starts, we've had actually seen duplicates and things like that. So we're switching that to queue-based, where email gets queued up to be sent, and then it just goes off and fires when it's ready. The other thing that allows us to do is we can do a much more interactive user interface with regard to sending emails. So now you kind of seen some of that already, where you can just fire off an email and it goes away. Like we don't wait for that to give feedback. It will be queued and it'll just get sent as soon as it can, which is usually within just a couple seconds. But If you're sending out a lot of emails, you don't want to sit there and wait for every single one of them to go out. We just tell the server what to do, and then it does it. But the new stuff that's going to come out, I'm going to make a screencast for that and to kind of do a walkthrough and show you how it works. But it's actually pretty cool. You'll like it. It adds quite a bit of functionality, additional functionality on the manage customers screen. But what's next? Because there's a couple of really big ones that are coming up, and that is, and I shouldn't even say they're coming up because they're already being worked on. Is the whole payment system, and also the way that payment methods are managed is becoming standardized. So there are like types of payments, whether it's credit card or ACH, but those are, even the screen for managing those is going to be more standard. So you have a basic standard layout, and all the features are, you can implement it across any payment method, even where we are able to add, say, something like a transaction fee or something like that. They all have the ability, and it's all standardized. So that will really make it easier to add new ones, because we just basically plug the new one in and it works. So that one, and that has a lot of pieces to it, because we had to change the management screen, and then we also have to change completely the way the payment processing end of it works. So the API endpoints are all, they're all new, they're all changed. What else is on that? A lot of that work is actually done. So we've just been but it had to be sort of pushed to the side because a few other updates had to be completed first in order for it to work. And that's kind of the reason why, in case you're wondering, like, why does this feature taking so long? And the answer to that is because for it to work, it is hinging on, say, some other piece to be also completed, because they're all interconnected. Hopefully that makes sense. What's the other one? So the other big one and it's a very popular request, is the Autopay feature, which allows you to create basically like billing agreements, and then the customer just approves that, or they can even, I think we're going to have it even be set up where you have set up, or you have fixed billing agreements, and then the customer, I think, I'm trying to think how that's going to flow. The idea is that there's rules to it. So the customer can say, I want to auto pay any invoice. These are billing agreements that the customer creates. And they could say, just auto pay anything that comes in that's under a specific dollar amount, or if it matches some criteria, like it has this particular line item in the invoice, so I know what that is, so just pay it, that type of thing. And then there are billing agreements that you, as the portal management staff, can create that are more geared to like a service or like a monthly payment that your customer would make. So you create the billing agreement, and then the customer just has to, click or approve it or whatever. And then they select which payment instrument they're going to use, whether it's a credit card or ACH or basically any payment method that allows like an unattended transaction. So PayPal wouldn't work on that part, but credit card and ACH and then the e-check would have the ability to do that. So that one's really important, because that right now, everything still has to be triggered by somebody. And for some people, they're just doing it themselves, or just going through and triggering the payments, which, it's not that hard to do. You can go in and just enter the payment. But the billing agreement thing is pretty key. All right, so there's that one. And let's see, what else? The other big ones are, it's really the payments, right? The payment processing. Yeah, that payment processing has to be done in order for the billing agreement part to work, because it's going to use those new API endpoints to actually make it work. So those two are completely tied together. They both have to be on and working. So they will probably be released at the same time, or the payments part of it, the new payment user interface will maybe be implemented first, and then the billing agreement thing just very shortly after that. The user interface for the billing agreement part is almost already done anyway, so it should be a fairly short development cycle once the new bill payment, or invoice payment I should say, is ready to go. Okay, so what else? And then, there are a lot of, I admit there are quite a few of bugs. Some of these are just kind of small or minor that just aren't that hard to fix. And some of them are just sitting here on hold because they're going to be fixed as part of some other ongoing development. So it's not that we're ignoring them, it's just they're probably already been flagged to be like, okay, this is going to get implemented or roped into some other project, so there's no need to do anything to it at this point. Alright, so I think that's it for now. Just like I said, wanted to just communicate all this to everyone, just so you don't think we're sitting on our hands over here. Like, there is a lot of work being done actually, and you'll see the update coming up tomorrow, or like I said, tomorrow, the next day, you'll see is actually got quite a bit of new stuff in there. And then the big ones, like I said, is the Autopay and the bill payment systems, the whole thing, everything about paying an invoice and managing payment methods, all going to be changed, and the user interface is way better, way easier to use. So I wish I could tell you an ETA right now, but I just can't. And actually, as soon as this update is done tomorrow or whatever, then it's kind of back focused onto that stuff. And then I think pretty shortly after that, I can maybe give a pretty accurate time frame for it. But it's not too far off. Like I said, a lot of the UI is already done. So anyway, that's about it for now. This video will become kind of irrelevant, even probably within just a couple weeks. So I'm going to post this, and then maybe it's just going to get, removed from the channel later, because it won't make any sense to watch a video about status like in 6 months. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit, that you can get some idea of what's being worked on, and just stay tuned, because there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I would urge you to either follow the Facebook page, because every announcement is also posted there, and then almost pretty much everything that goes out on Facebook is probably going to either be on YouTube, or at least the video portion of it will be on YouTube. But I would say definitely on Facebook, and also the Twitter feed, if you really want to get plenty of updates. I don't like emailing people that much. I try to just do those only when necessary, because well, nobody invites you to email, but so if you follow the page, of course, I assume that it's okay to send you things. But I really don't like to send a lot of emails out unless it's really relevant. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and we'll be posting some more information pretty soon.